In this series, we've shared about the goldenrod growing on the edges of our property. It's fall, and very few flowers are still blooming. So the insects in our yard are flocking to these bright flowers. I saw up to a dozen insects on one stalk. We talked about how insects like bees and butterflies come to the flowers to feast on the nectar or pollen. And then pollen sticks to their bodies, and while they feast on the next flower, the pollen comes in contact with another flower's stigma and fertilizes it so that the seed can grow.
God calls us to be pollinators that spread the gospel. This is a pretty joyful job. As we fill up with good food from God's bountiful spiritual table, not only do we take it inside of ourselves, but some sticks to us and later gets transmitted to others. It may be just what they need to be fertilized. Here's an example for me. God said to us a couple of years ago, "You are hungry for spiritual food, and you're a little malnourished. Come, eat." And we were attracted to a church and a small group that was like that bright yellow goldenrod. It caught our attention because of the great music. Then we feasted. He gave us quick energy through people inviting us into their lives. Maybe it was going to lunch after church or being greeted with a welcoming smile. And he gave us nutritious pollen through deep discussions about spiritual matters, Bible study, and challenging sermons.
But you see, as we feasted, that good stuff overflowed. It kind of stuck to us. As we meet new people at church or in our day-to-day encounters, it rubs off. And sometimes it's just what a person needs to fertilize what God's already begun in their hearts. They may pick up a little joy or a little hope, and we'll never know that that was all they needed to take the next step. If you are in a pollinator season, enjoy it. Sure, honeybees are some of the best pollinators because they purposefully collect pollen to carry back to their hives, so they end up transferring more of the pollen grains to other flowers. But butterflies are pollinators too. They only come to the flower for the nectar, but while drinking the nectar, some of the pollen grains sticks to their wings, and then those get carried to other plants.
So we say, fill up on God's delicious food. Enjoy drinking in the sweetness of fellowship and invigorating praise and worship. Chew hard on meaty sermons and savor the tastiness of coming to deeper understandings about God and His kingdom. Let them become a part of you. Because whether you know it or not, as you carry on a conversation with a neighbor or coworker, some of that pollen may rub off on another person and be exactly what they need at this moment in their lives. Let's keep feasting on the good stuff that God offers. Let Him meet your needs for love and acceptance. Allow yourself to enjoy the beauty of His creation and the uniqueness of your personality. Accept His offers for forgiveness and help.
And as you become filled with His life-sustaining truths, it's good to purposefully take some back to your hives, your families, your friend groups, to share with them. But even if you're a butterfly and are not purposefully carrying a lot of that pollen to others, know that God is still using you. Those pollen grains attach to your life, and even as you enjoy the life that God gives you, He is using you to spread His truth and fertilize His kingdom to produce seeds in the future. As we trek together, isn't it wonderful to think that you and I are pollinating and we don't even know it? To God be the glory. Thanks for trekking with the foxes today.